Hi everyone, this is Mrs. Sipe. Today we're going to talk about Google Drive. And if you know anything about me and my teaching, you would know that I use Google Drive on a daily basis for just about everything. So we're going to take a deeper dive into the Google Drive today. So the first thing I want to show you is that when you go into Google Drive, you have the option to make folders. So I have folders for all kinds of things here, and you can also share folders with colleagues. So that if you are doing something collaborative, or maybe you want one place where you can kind of keep everything that you're working on for a specific topic, you have the option to create these folders and save things. Now, I'm going to show you just some of the things that you can do with Google Drive. So the first one is that new folder. So if I want to create a new folder, I can name it and I can save it in there. And you know what? I'm actually going to make one that just says example so that I have a folder to kind of save some of the things in that we're going to talk about. So when I go into my example folder right now, you don't see anything because it's just created. When I go to file upload, I can actually take Word documents and other things that I've done. So here's a article I was reading for a class. I can open it up and I can save it into this example folder. Maybe I want to save the document. Maybe I need to share it with a colleague. Again, just a great place to store things in Google Drive. You can also upload a whole folder into Google Drive. Maybe you have a folder created with certain math skills or reading skills. You can drop that whole folder right into Google. Now, there are lots of other options with Google. So the next one we're going to talk about is Google Docs. So if I create a Google Doc is similar to Microsoft Word. So it has the option, you're going to make your title here, and you can change just about anything and the setup. Also, Google started this tab option. So you can actually make tabs. So tab 1, and then a whole different page is tab 2, but it would be within the same document. So I can change my font here if I want to make the top nice and big, bold, underline, I can do all of those things. So maybe I want to get rid of that part then and just write underneath. Okay, you can add different types of indents. You can add different types of bullet points, numbering. You can even make columns in here. So again, this is a Word document more so than anything. You're really just typing, you're sharing ideas. Maybe you're writing lesson plans in this Google Doc. Okay, the next thing I'm going to show you is a Google Sheet. So if I go again, just add Google Sheet, it's going to come up. I'm going to make my title. Make sure you click in that box. So this is my next one. Okay, again, there are so many options here. So for example, at the bottom, you can see you can add multiple sheets inside the same document. So maybe I have one for 2025. Maybe this is my 2024. This was my 2023. So they're not deleting things. I can refer back to them. I can even copy and paste and duplicate things within the same document. Now, this one is set up more like an Excel spreadsheet. So you can do your functions, your formats with different things. I can do different formatting colors. I can insert different types of charts. I can even do some more tools in this one. This one would be also where I can insert some formulas for things. So maybe I want to be adding like this is test 1 and this is test 2. And then when I go down here and I add the points, and then over here we can create an average. So you can kind of create different things and change. You can also filter so that it sorts things. So there's a lot of options here for sheets. When I go into new again, another one of my favorites is slides. So Google Slides is going to be similar to a PowerPoint. So we're going to start again with our title. I want to make sure that I have some just generic things saved here. So that I can show you. So over here, some templates. So you can either start off with a template that's already created. You can actually use all of these, or maybe there's only certain things that you want. I'm just going to click all to show you and give you some idea. So here I had a blank one. Maybe I don't need that. I'm going to delete that so that now I'm starting off with my full screen. I can change the background. Maybe I don't love this color, so I'm going to make it more purple. Okay, maybe I want to add a picture. I can change the layout. So maybe this is the one I want for the home screen. I go to the table contents. Maybe I don't need a content that looks like this. So maybe I'll switch it to this one. You can see it kind of changed my formatting there, but that's okay. For example, this one, you can delete somebody else's pictures. You can go and insert an image. You can also insert your own picture, your own image, or you can insert from the stock or the web of what they already have. You can also click and change the text. So, for example, if I wanted this to be much larger and take up the full page, I can change, how large I want that to be. I can also change if I wanted to go all the way across the screen. If I wanted to go higher up or down, I can make it bold or underlined. I can do all of those things. I can also change colors. So again, just so many options to format this into anything you want it to be. Finally, I'm just going to show you here, there's a Google form. So if you've seen some of my other videos, we have used Google Forms as a quiz. So I'm going to name this form, this one for quiz. Okay, so you can go in, it changes the name. You can change your responses. So not only could you use this for a quiz, you could also use this if you're asking questions out to families and looking for responses. Maybe you're looking for volunteers. Once you answer and create the questions and get responses, you can also click on responses. You can view them through here, or you can create a sheet that will then be in your Google Doc that could link right to this. So for example, if I created a questionnaire and instead of a quiz, maybe I was using it for some parent helpers. So I'm looking for parent helpers that would be able to come into the classroom. Maybe I want to ask what day. So in here, I could ask day of the week. And I could either make it, so here it actually liked that one. It gave me some suggestions. I can add all of the days of the week. But, obviously I don't want parents coming in on Saturday and Sunday. I'm going to delete that one. So now we have days of the week. It's a multiple choice. You can make it required or not required. Okay. Then I can add another one. So maybe this time I want to know time of day that the parent wants to come in. So this one could be where they just fill in here. They could just fill in a time. Maybe they can actually do a checkbox. So option 1 might be AM, so 9 to 12. Or another option might be from PM, which would be 12 to 3, and that could be the only options. So once I have all my questions set and I share this with my parents, then the responses come back here. And I could make that sheet that I was talking about, and it would link in directly into my Google Drive, and I would be able to share it with my coworkers. So for example, if we as a kindergarten team were trying to come up with a schedule for our parent helpers, we could do that in here and share it. You also, again, have that customizability. So you can change the actual settings of the text. You can add pictures to the top. You can even change the colors. So again, just so many things. Even once you go here, you even have more. So here's where you create your Google site, your Google map, a Google drawing. And again, everything links right back into your Drive. So you can see here, all the things we started today have linked into my Google Drive and have been able to save here. So everything's in one place. Now, if I